What's up, guys?
What's up, Hawa?
So excited. I'm doing amazing. How are you guys today?
Doing amazing as well.
Amazing.
Excited.
Excited, of course. I know I can't even like the fact that you just dropped this bomb on me right before we started, Manuel. Now I'm just like preparing myself to be like so excited about what we're talking about today. But for those of you that don't know, welcome back to another Game Dev Academy stream with Spatial. I am Hawa, the social media director at Spatial, and I'll let everybody go around and introduce themselves. Today, we're going to be talking about leveraging AI in game development, which I'm so excited about. So, Jack?
Hello, everybody. My name's Jack. I do support at Spatial, helping all our Spatians become successful with the platform. And I'm very happy that we have an amazing special guest joining us today.
The special guest.
Give it up for...
Manuel.
What's up?
Yeah.
My name is Manu. You might know me on social media at manu.vision or Manu Vision. I'm basically a Caribbean or futurist artist. I come from Guadeloupe, which is a teeny French island in the Caribbean. And now I live in Montreal. I'm a remote employee at Unity that work as a senior advocate for AI. So that means that I travel around the world in our different studio, and I speak about the benefits of AI, what we're building with it. And today is going to be a very special event because I've been working with Spatial for a while. Actually, hey to Jake that is not here today, is in PTO.
Yes, shout out to Jake.
Amazing work. Exactly.
Shout out, Jake.
He was like, Manu, why don't you come back and give back to the community after everything we've done for you? Spatial have always been good to me, and I feel like even without reaching out, I've been a Spatial user, I've been a Spatians, and I've been always enjoying the fact that he brought me back to Unity. Because even as a worker at Unity, sometimes you don't get to use the editor every day, and it's a bit like following your day to day, especially in my role as a designer in the past. And I have background in design, in XR, in AI at Unity, but also at IBM. I work with many companies like Meta, OpenAI, and I feel like building your own world is something that is now palpable. And Spatial has a huge reason why. And I've been building my own museum exhibition, as I was telling you guys before, and doing it digitally as well is amazing. Yes. So I'm happy to be able to show people how can we do that today with the current tools, but also what's to come on the horizon.
Ooh, we got some alpha in there. Thank you so much, Manuel, for joining today. I mean, I think you have such a niche and individualistic perspective that inevitably is always going to add value. So we're really happy to have you here with all the knowledge that you have. I'm about to be a sponge throughout this entire...
Everybody tuned in. You're in for a treat. This is going to be a good one.
This is going to be a really great one. We're so happy to have you here. I think Tyrone is here. What's up? And Manuel, I've been seeing Manu.vision. I've been seeing your little avatar for so long, through the social tweets and all the content that you put out. So this is a full circle moment, and I'm just so excited for the value that we're about to add to everyone's lives right now.
Yes.
So
he's all about dropping gems, knowledge, inspiring, and
absolutely. And also, that means you must speak French, right?
I do.
Okay.
C'est mon langage principal. Je parle français.
Okay. Yeah, I am from Guinea, West Africa, so it's a French. It was colonized by the French as well. I speak French a little bit, mais doucement, but I can still understand everything.
Nice. I've been speaking English mainly for the past 12 years now, so it's been hard to go back. But my accent is a mixture of weird French, Quebecois, and actual French with Creole and English.
I was about to say, do you guys speak Creole there? Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Love it. We have people from all over the world half the time on our streams too. So it's gonna
be the Spatians are a global community, so definitely it's part of what makes Spatial amazing.
Cool. Should we hop in, guys?
Let's just get into it. All right.
Here we go.
So, welcome to the Game Dev Academy stream with Spatial. I'm your guest for today, Manuel Sainsily. And I'll be basically presenting you the future of AI at Unity. And just a little preface, you guys are very lucky today because this is not a presentation that we ever did publicly. That's normally only available for the developer day for the people that are coming to the office in different places in the world. If you live in Brighton, UK, for example, you can see me doing an updated version of that presentation next week. So I'll be happy to be there on Thursday.
We love the special.
Special.
You know how we do. Hype. Thank you so much, Manuel.
So this is the avatar that how I was discussing. You
Yeah.
might have seen that guy on social media. That's the same person. And yeah, basically today I'm going to be telling you why we are excited about AI at Unity, updating our guiding principles for ethical AI, which is a super important subject for me and Unity as well. Some examples from the community, but also some gems from our teams and product teams internally, and basically painting the vision in the long-term future. So, before we tell you why we are excited, I want to ask to the team, but also the people in the chat, why are you? So, how, Jack? What makes you
Oh,
excited
I
about?
have a list of reasons why I'm excited about AI.
Yeah.
I just feel just optimizing your workflow. And also, for me, I've been a creative director for years. I have a studio in Atlanta. So before I was ever in the digital realm, like I was doing a lot of like photography and like modeling and like just like a lot of creative direction where we have to build like treatments. And the
Right.
reason why I love AI is because sometimes I'll be imagining things in my head and I can't necessarily find the images or the things to kind of express like the overall concept in which I'm building. And I think it's really cool to be able to go on like Mid Journey and type in a prompt and like, whoa, like this is what I was just thinking in my head. This image does not exist. And like now I just created it. And now I can show this to the photographer to, finish out this process. And I think that kind of works in, if you're a game developer, which is still art to an extent, if you're an artist and you want to, get some sketches out for like a starting point. Even Wired Italia, they built their space on Spatial. They got the design from typing in prompts into Midjourney. So I
There you
think
go.
it can really help the creative process by optimizing it and making it more efficient and also making it more authentic in a way, which is kind of controversial, but I find that it helps
Oh, but
me
it's true.
to like
It brings you back into your artistic workflow, kind of.
exactly. And a lot of times, I don't really find inspiration from like other images. I kind of find information from like my dreams or like life experiences. So it's really cool to be able to type in a prompt and then get that image. So that's
Wow.
why I'm excited because I feel like it's just going to make things so much easier. So
And I see Tyrone in the chat saying better AI in 3D environments can cure loneliness. That's an amazing take as well. What about you, Jack?
Yeah. I'm really I've been excited about AI because I always have the ideas for how to do something and what needs to be done to make it happen within like a program like Unity. Like I can visualize the structure of like code that needs to be built for something or how to script something to make an action happen. But it's the actual steps of doing that process that takes a lot of time to learn how to do that. So I'm looking forward to AI being able to just take the end result that I'm imagining pretty much and then do all the things that it needs to do to make that be a reality.
right, exactly. And I also think it helps, like adding on to what you say, Jack, like with new tools, like if I'm learning something new, like the Spatial Creator Toolkit, or like, I want to implement the skybox or do something, like when I think about AI and like Unity together, my brain just goes like,
It's
I'm like,
crazy. I mean, Spatial is already something that makes your imagination run wild as it is, and then you layer AI and Unity on top of it. It's like
it's just like
you could spend the rest of your life thinking of things to do and never run out of ideas. Like,
right.
Well said. And we
So,
have
yep.
Adjective Beaver, which is probably a randomly generated name or an amazing username, saying AI has the potential to improve life for everyone, can be used for rubber ducking. Exactly. That's exactly what it is for. And before we get more into what is the current state of AI and how people are talking about AI in 2023, I want to kind of give you kind of this convergence point metaphor. So before, AI and ML driven techniques, they hold the promise for making the creative process more accessible and efficient. How I've really said it well, enabling more people to become creators and bringing forth fresh and innovative ideas. But I'm seeing this area of convergence, especially for those of you that have been in the artificial intelligence space for more than 2 to 3 years. You probably used to refer to AI when you were talking about smart assistants. So who can tell me what smart assistant they own? I personally have an iPhone, so by default I have Siri. Don't use it that much, but that's one of those, right? What else do you have in mind?
they got Alexa's.
Don't like airlines use smart assistants sometimes when like that automatic chat.
You do. You have Google Home. You have Alexa. All of
Yep.
those, right?
Mhm.
What else? personalization. So, for example,
Yep.
my Spotify or Netflix playlists, they are
Yep.
based on my own data, what I'm looking at. And then you have things like automation and efficiency. So, there's a lot of tools that I'm using for to be productive. But even when it comes to cars, like you have self-driving cars and things like that, all of that is still artificial intelligence. We didn't wait for 2022 for Midjourney or DALI to exist or ChatGPT to call these things AI. But somehow the way people talk about AI these days is a little bit different. There is something that happens, and I want to talk about that. And now, when we talk about AI, we talk about natural language processing, NLP. We talk about conversational AI, and we talk about co-creators instead of assistants. And I just want to pause here for a second in terms of the nomenclature, like to the actual grammatical word, the difference between an assistant and a creator, a co-creator. Instead of seeing them as under us or tools that are serving us, now we're seeing them almost as equal. And as controversial as that statement can be, it is interesting because now it's more like a muse, something that inspires you, something that is your friend, that's something you can rub a duck with when you're developing, it can bounce back ideas with. And I like this statement a little bit more because it makes us a little bit more empathetic. Not just to say, AI is going to take over and have consciousness. That's not really the conversation I want to have, even though it's a valid one. But it's more about treating other things with respect will make people treat each other with more respect and be more careful and empathetic with everything else when it comes to animals, the world, nature, and so on. And so to me, it's interesting because now we're seeing AI in spaces that we did not expect in art, for example. So, Unity statement, the general motto for our company is our mission. We believe that the world is better place with more creators in it. And so AI is helping us bringing more creators to the table, enabling more people to, instead of opening Unity, being scared of the interface and closing it and never being able to build their tools again. Now we have things like Spatial bringing toolkits inside and making it a little bit more easy. While with AI, all of that is getting even more accessible. And I have even friends that are having kids that are like 5 or 6 years old. They're starting to build things in Unity with them. They're starting to build world for them in Spatial, and that's because they have ChatGPT on the side giving them some tips and tricks. We couldn't see that 2 to 3 years ago. So I'm going to show you my very basic implementation. I wanted to basically talk about MIDI. So a MIDI controller, you know what it is? It's kind of like a special musical instrument that helps you control and play sounds in a computer or electronic music system. So it looks like a keyboard or a pad with buttons, knobs, and sliders that you can press or move. But when you play or press something on the MIDI controller, it sends signals to the computer or electronic music system, telling it which sound to play and how to play them. It's like giving instructions to a machine to make different musical sounds, basically. So MIDI controller allow musicians and producers to interact with music software and create music using physical buttons and controls instead of just clicking on a computer screen. It's a way to kind of bring hands-on experience to making music digitally. And I love that parallel because when I interact with a mouse or a keyboard or a tap on the screen and swipe, it's not as physical, right? And so here I wanted to use my MIDI controller as an actual controller for a game that I would build in Unity or an experience. But I had no idea. So, like, even though I work at Unity, I don't have much experience with the editor, and doing something so niche and specific was really tough. So this is a demo that I did last year, a couple weeks after ChatGPT came out. And I went into the chat and I said, please help me generate a script that allow me to connect my Akai Mini MIDI controller, so I was specific about the brand, to my Unity and to control the y-axis rotation of a simple cube game object using one of the knobs. So my statement is quite descriptive. As you can see there on the screen on the left, like the scene is completely empty. I have like a basic topology terrain and a cube. And I was not expecting that, but I got the entire code for an entire script. Now, I never coded really that hard before, and I had no idea if this would be, working or just like AI hallucination or whatever. So I copy pasted this, brought it into Unity, and to my surprise, it worked right away. So then I went a little bit more crazy and I started asking for more. I was like, okay, let's use the other knob for moving the x-axis, or I added the water level, and I was like, let's make sure that this knob allow me to move the elevation or the position of this flat plane, which is my water in the scene. And doing that, I created in a few minutes this very cool experience, which when I look at it, I'm like, this is garbage. Like anyone can do much better than me. But for someone like me that never used Unity before or never built something, it felt magical that just using an AI chat, but in a sense, I was able to build something that literally came out of my own brain and make it work.
Mind blowing. That's mind
Okay?
blowing.
So now let's move it to the next level. So Unity obviously have been researching and investing in AI for a while, and they also have a lot of partners collaboration. So I typed in this number in the world, and I was like, okay, how many people are actually making publications about AI, and how many of them actually from 2010 to 2021? And the number was 160,000 and plus. But that's from 2010 to 2021, and it doubled in 2021 to
Wow.
330,000. That means that not only people are getting more excited about it, but the last 10 years have seen a rise of the amount of publication in the field compared to the last 60, 70 plus years that AI have been out there. There's also this moment of convergence that I talked about earlier. When you look at the data point here, that little point here in the middle of the screen, that is December 2022, early December. And you don't have to be, smart to know what happened that day. That's when ChatGPT came out. So I think we can talk, and I'm a designer, right? So I talk always about interface and interaction, human computer interaction, HCI, and so on. And there is a moment in time where it's not that the tech is new, it's more that the way that people interact with the tech is new and a bit more, I would say, subtle or more genuine or more simple. Like when the iPhone came out, it was not something novel. What was novel about it was the mix of a music player with a phone, with something that can browse the internet and so on, and having all of that together with a natural interface with swipe that we know because we are used to touch objects. That's what made it easy so that my mother can use it as much as I can. So same with ChatGPT. I wouldn't tell my mom to install GitHub 5 years ago so that she can play with Stalgan. Like no one would do that unless you're really geeking about it. I was doing it, but that's me. But ChatGPT, you can just send someone a URL and now they can interact with an AI. That's amazing. So OpenAI
Wow.
really did unlock the power of AI for a lot of people through the interface. And we can tell because after that inflection point, the number of people searching the word AI on Google just like exploded, right?
Hmm.
And this is a New York Times article from about a month ago or two, I don't remember exactly the date, but saying that basically the industry is a $4.4 trillion industry. This is
Wow.
huge. That means that there's probably a lot of company that's going to call themselves AI company just to make sure they get investment.
They're already doing it. They're already doing it.
Right?
Yeah.
We see it. We almost at an AI fatigue level right now. Like sometimes I'm tired of talking about it. So that's why I'm switching up the flow. And this presentation is not about, you know, you got to get into AI, but more about getting us inspired and what we can do with it. So I'm going to show you something from the community. This is a user on Twitter called AI Insight. And he was sharing a project that he did using a mix of many, many tools. He used Midjourney to generate a character. Then he used Photoshop to generate textures and connect and cut everything into UV maps. He used Blender to generate the background of the scene and to bring those visuals that he generated with those image generators with a little bit of background and a little bit of perspective. And there's some tools that you can use to get there. And then he brought all of that into Unity and he was able to create, well, this amazing 2.5D clicking game that you can look on the left. And everything was built within Unity at the end and working. And you're able to click everywhere and interact with the environment. Obviously, this is a more elaborated workflow than what I showed before. It's not something where you say, give me that, and then you get code and then it just works.
Mhm.
You have to have a little bit more back and forth and understand other tools. But I wanted to show that because it's a good example of telling people that it's not because you're not efficient with one tool that you have to only stick to the tools that you know. And you also can explore many tools and see what kind of synergy comes out of them. And that's what I love about Spatial. Like Spatial, obviously, you could use it without even opening Unity ever. But
Mhm.
once you start connecting things together and you're not afraid of testing different tools or bringing your knowledge from other tools, there's always something you can do nowadays, regardless of your background. You don't need to have a computer science degree. You don't need to have done art school. That's okay. You don't have inspiration on the visual side. Well, generate the image, but you can still be a great UV map editor or 3D artist, or you can be someone that has a background just in music, maybe. Bring all of those background together, be inspired, and create the game of your dreams.
Ugh, the future is now.
There you go. Someone in the chat just said, who is it? So it's Jussie Campaign in Project, Echoes of Somewhere. He has an open dev blog with the details of his process. He also shared his process with us from the Sunken Blimp stage at Spatial. Thank you, Camilo.
I love Sunken Blimp. They've been with us for so long.
I'll make sure to update my slides also so that I have the right person name. Thank you for that. And so we have this motto that have been said lately at Unity that says that every pixel, every object, every system in every game will be touched by AI at creation time and at runtime. And that's a very heavy message because that means that whatever we do, AI is now part of the process. We cannot anymore really distinguish between one or the other, but also the power of what that can bring when you put AI in and AI out. And so Unity has recently announced, and again, those information are going to be more publicly shared during Unite in November. So make sure to tune in for that annual conference. And now we have MUSE and SENTIS. So the MUSE platform and the SENTIS platform are the two fundamental platforms that stretch across both of these states. You have Unity Muse, or platform for creation time, and Unity SENTIS, or platform for runtime. And today we have Muse Chat in closed beta and SENTIS, and a couple more tools are going to come out soon that are going to be able to show to you. So today this is exclusive. No one probably saw that before outside of.
So high. Yeah, I must say I've never seen this.
So please don't screenshot it and send it to my manager, or I might lose my job. We're in family here. I trust you. You trust me. I'm giving you gems. All right.
Yeah.
So let's talk a bit about Muse. So Muse is basically what we're looking to do with Muse Chat is to amplify the value of our unique knowledge system, and it aims to be a best-in-class user experience. So it's integrated for beginner and advanced workflows alike for an easy-to-use Unity-specific knowledge base to improve the productivity of our users. So Muse Chat basically empowers creators by providing swift access to first-party Unity documentation. So it's trained on first-party data, and it learns tutorials from our Learn platform for comprehensive, reliable answers and functional code samples. So it's not like ChatGPT that sometimes give you code and you have to kind of go through the debugger and do some code hunting yourself. This thing knows you because it's trained on Unity, so it's the best person to ask, right?
Beautiful.
And like the metaphor I did before, it's like a muse. It's something you bounce back ideas with. It's innovative. It's inspiring. And the common pain point that we hear from people in Unity in general is that finding and using information, whether that's in doc, forum, answers, or anywhere else. And so the content is often distributed and hard to find. So Muse Chat kind of like it's going to pull all that information into one place. And with the power of large language model, we're able to present that information in a way that users can easily use to solve their real world problems. And so MuseChat is not just another chat GPT, which is kind of what you can get from looking at it, but it's not just that. And it's not just another generic knowledge infused or retrieval augmented language model. As I said, we have built Muse around Unity knowledge. So the base system is designed with Unity related problem solving at its core. As you can see, it does look like a bit like your everyday chat GPT with a nicer design, of course. But let's dive into why it's not. LLM, the knowledge, is somewhat different to the knowledge we're used to. Large language model, as most people know them, they work by simply predicting the next word in a sequence. So what that means is that given a sequence or the input of words it's being fed, the black box, that is the LLM, will do its best to figure out probabilities of each individual word it knows and how likely each one is to appear at the end of the given the input. Of course, at Unity, we have a pretty good idea of what the next word is. So we know because we have extensive experience and we draw on our own reasoning. Of course, at Unity, before that, simplifying a bit, the best the language model is as of today can do alone is to model relationships between the words, sentences, and all of the previous text it might have seen. What comes out of the black box is a language model, is a bunch of possible next words, along with how likely the model computed these words to appear next, given the input sequence. So when you submit a question to ChatGPT, your response is sampled piece by piece from the GPT language randomly selected by the language model's magic probabilities. Sometimes the response will correct, but sometimes we're lucky and the response might even be correct. The MUSE chat exploits greatly useful language understanding abilities of LLM to interpret those questions. However, rather than proceeding with the LLM to answer the question in a way that merely sounds trustworthy, we build a scaffolding for the final response out of actual Unity knowledge. So we have processed Unity manual pages, Unity scripting reference pages, and many more. And from those, we extracted chunks of independent information that can be used individually to assemble answers to abstract questions. So again, this has been done for Unity manuals, Unity scripting API, references, and so on. With the architecture of going straight from input and output, you wouldn't be able to control the aspects of reliability and relevance. So we've been hard at work at creating MUSE chat. We have a dynamic knowledge retrieval and scaffolding system, allowing us to adopt or switch the LLM integration we use to embrace the rapid speed of the space. And because we have built this modular system, we can always pivot and bring you the best technology when it comes out. So our in-house build system is unique in its multi-step method of sourcing content from our first-party Unity knowledge. It's not trained on the internet and stuff like that. And finally, I have a little video that can show you how we can use that. So this is basically a little video of someone building a game in Unity and asking Muse Chat how to basically create a double jump condition on the game and updating the script in real time with the output from Muse Chat. So here the person is going to copy paste the entire code that they currently have for the normal jump. They're going to Muse, take the answer from Muse, copy paste the entire code. This is the generated response. And as you can see in the interface, you have access to all your resources from Unity, the Learn platform, the blog, and so on. Then we're going to go back into our code, update the script, look for the actual function that, makes sure that the character jumps. So this one is called jump count and max jump count. And we're updating the code, finding the right place and copy pasting.
Literally so dope.
And now we're going to do that. Put the new function in, make sure that all the variables are correct because sometimes you need some formatting. We go back, we re-up the page, we play the game, and now we can double jump.
Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So
this is going to change the game for so many developers.
I think too. And I think what's interesting is that the video continues. I won't share everything about it, but what you saw before was also fully generated by something else, and I will talk about that later. So this is another quick video. That's before Muse. That's someone called Alan Farchi that created a plugin, Flexelon Copilot, using ChatGPT like conversation. And so inside the editor, now you have that conversation with an LLM, and you're able to kind of script some actions in the editor. Like using UI Builder is a little bit hard for some people. And so the Unity UI Copilot can be a bit harsh. So that person was like, I don't want to deal with this interface. I don't want to just automate everything and just talk through it. And that will generate my game's visuals and my game's UI and so on. This is another example of being creative and bringing back knowledge within what you know. And then
I have a question. Did somebody build that off of Muse or they built that on their own?
So Muse was not out yet. So this was done early this year or end of next year, or end of last year. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's super
that
cool.
was inspiring for the team that was already building in parallel and seeing that, okay, Muse Chat needs at some point to not just leave, in the web browser, but also within the editor. And this is on the roadmap. That's something that we're also working on so that it can happen soon.
Wow.
So now we have the other side. So I talked about creation time, remember, Muse, and now runtime, SENTIS. So what is SENTIS? SENTIS is a tool for standardized AI model inferences in the Unity ecosystem. So we want to marry the innovation happening in the AI research world with the magic of game development in order to create novel and richer gameplay experiences. So how does it work? So first, we let our user train or build their neural network using either TensorFlow or PyTorch, imported through the industry standard Onyx file format representing the neural network architecture and the trained weights. We bring these files into SENTIS, which runs at the edit time and at runtime in Unity. And at edit time, it takes this Onyx network and uses a set of compilers and transpilers to target. Particular runtime depending on the platform where the neural network needs to execute. And using this architecture, we're able to reuse the compute platform for all the platform that we have today at Unity to actually run a neural network on top of these existing platforms in an optimal manner for each platform. This is what makes the integration of the neural network into the game code streamlined and much easier for our creators. So the problem that it solves, running AI model in runtime and in editor, build once, deploy everywhere, faster performance without network latency. It's free, it's secure, and this is a roadmap, but I'm going to go quick so that you don't screenshot it. Hey, kidding. So basically, the use case category for this are immense. We have image upscaling, style transfer, non-playable character. You probably saw a lot of NPC AI examples online. Speech recognition, body object detection, depth estimation, image, video, and 3D model classification, handwriting classification, creating one-of-a-kind player experience, because obviously that can also be an AI within the game, not just at runtime, and then animation, simulation helper, and so on. I'm going to go and show you just a few of those examples in real time. For example, top left, that's a real runtime style transfer. So you know those games like Runway, Kyber, working with video. Imagine that with game. Imagine your friend playing a game in like basically, um, you know, you're making a game that is at night in the winter, and then by just putting one click, the person could be on the beach in the summer, and then it's the same game object. You're not rebuilding the platform twice, but the style of the game can change. Or you want a Miyazaki game instead of a realistic one. All of that.
That's cool.
And to answer Camilo answer, not only you will be able to know more about it through the links I'm going to share at the end, but also I'm going to be happy to answer questions.
Yeah, and
So-
also all of our streams are saved on YouTube, by the way, Camilo. So you'll be able to rewatch this if needed.
There you go.
I was thinking of this earlier when you talked about the two different types of knowledge. This quote.
Yeah. So any Spider-Man fan in the room?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love the last movie with Miles Morales. It was so good.
Me too. Imagine you could have that style of a game like applied quickly like this, right? But I want to talk a little bit about the elephant in the room, which is, to me, ethical AI. And we don't say ethical AI, we say responsible AI, because ethics is a way broader word that involves so much more. And we don't want to, just washing it. It's so important as a subject. So Unity has been updating what they call their principles for ethical AI. And this is a blog post name. Most likely, we're going to switch it up to responsible AI. So just a kind of parenthesis on that. But you can find it right now on our blog, and it contains a lot of information. I think it's very important, whether you're a creator or a user, to spend at least some time to read it. It's not a real long blog post. I'm going to give you right now a free overview in less than a minute. So our guidelines basically are more creators by design, responsibility by design, and privacy and security by design. Those are the three pillars. So when we say more creators by design, what do we mean? Is that we strive to use AI solutions that promote inclusion and to make this technology available to everyone. So we recognize the importance of considering all types of human experiences and are committed to using AI to expand the ways in which creators can learn to create. To do this, we're making it easier for creators to express themselves, bringing powerful tools to everyone from the biggest companies to even the individual hobbyist working in his cave, and we review our AI tools to ensure we use appropriate data sets and promote open and healthy expression whenever they are used. And the second pillar is responsibility by design. We acknowledge the potential consequences of AI and commit to following a responsible design process. We take proactive measures to anticipate and minimize potential harm to our community, ecosystem, and the planet that may arise from the use of our AI technologies. And we're committed to continuously improving our products to align with responsible and ethical practices, including environmental and sustainability, human oversight, accountability. This includes seeking diverse representation and a wider range of perspectives on design teams, monitoring energy usage, and optimizing towards lower environmental impact, using appropriate data sets and testing AI technologies before deployment to ensure such technologies yield the expected results. And finally, privacy and security by design. We're committed to protecting the data and information incorporated into and used by our AI technologies, including from unauthorized disclosure or manipulation. We handle it with care and respect, ensuring that any use is in accordance with the intended purpose and aligned with these principles and Unity's privacy policy. To give effect to this principle, we emphasize transparency and the use of AI, namely how our creators and users contribute to the continuing advancements of AI through their work and feedback. And we will work with our community, obviously, on mechanisms and tagging to enable transparency. What's good about those principles is that Unity will continue to update and refine them. That's why it's called updating, because we actually revealed them back in 2017. This is the updated version for this year. And we'll make sure, thanks to that, to have the proper goals in a quickly evolving field. So we look forward to, first of all, the continued advancements of AI tech, but also for the positive impact on society while prioritizing responsible and ethical practices. That means that we're going to learn in real time. We might make mistakes. People might tell us this is wrong, and we're going to stay open with the community and work with them.
So great. Love to hear it and see it.
Yeah.
So
these things are really important, especially with marginalized groups. It's really, really important to not only just like, authentically express these things, but also act upon them. And it really is like life or death for some situations. So I really appreciate you going through this as well, Manuel.
Thank you, Hawa. And to answer quickly Mike's question, Muse Chat is basically kind of like your helper in Unity. So yes, you will be able eventually to understand visual scripting, not just code. You would be able to even play with the interface and understand how to work with the Unity interface using Muse. That's the end goal. And I'm going to show you a little bit about that soon. So what does the future of AI at Unity look like? This is a quick video from one of our other creator, Valim. We probably know it if you tried to make anything in VR. Amazing YouTuber. And he basically took on the challenge to recreate Beat Saber from scratch using ChatGPT. Obviously, that's not something that I can do. You kind of need a little bit of Unity experience and knowing what to ask and so on. But it's amazing to see that before even Muse Chat existed, he was already thinking about that workflow, like using ChatGPT to do everything from creating the game objects components, the texture, the lighting, the actual animations, but also the interactions, the game design itself. And I mean, did a pretty good job. I don't know what you think, but looking at those two screenshots, I couldn't tell which one was true or not. And initially, when I watched the GIF on the left, I was like, "Oh, cool! Someone is showing how Beat Saber was made." And it's like, no, it's not the real Beat Saber.
No, it's something completely different. This is so cool, and it shows that you guys are really on track with Muse because your creators are already hacking ways to do the same thing. So now you're just kind of providing the tool and solving that problem.
Wow, someone in the chat saying that Valiant tutorials helped them get a job in VR development. That's a great. Make sure to give some love to our friend Valim. I'm gonna let him know about that. That's amazing. And he's been very kind to also share this project with us, and that's why I want to give back by sharing his project every time I talk about AI, because I think that has been very inspiring, at least for me and many other designers. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I remember when go ahead.
I like to put Steve Jobs every time I can. So I have a few things that I want to share. Obviously, again, those are not products that are out, and more of a vision that we want to paint about the future. Some of what you might see already exists, and some of what you might see is just on the roadmap. And to know the difference between one and the other, I highly recommend you to join the Unity AI Beta program. I'll have a link at the end of this presentation, so stay with us if you want to get in.
What's your name?
My name is Orb. I am an alien from the planet Zalberg.
Tell me about the universe.
The universe is vast and mysterious. It contains billions of galaxies, each containing billions of stars. Stars form planets, which in turn form living things such as plants and animals. Life on Earth has evolved over millions of years, and it is likely that similar processes occur throughout the universe.
What do you think about quantum mechanics?
Quantum mechanics is a fascinating subject that has led to many breakthroughs in our understanding of the subatomic world.
While it may seem counterintuitive at first, quantum mechanics provides a deeper level of understanding of the fundamental nature of reality.
What kind of questions about reality does quantum mechanics create?
Quantum mechanics challenges our traditional notions of reality and offers new perspectives on the nature of matter and energy.
If animals could talk, which would be the funniest?
If animals could talk, I think the funniest one would be the parrot. It would say whatever it wants and no one would be able to stop it. It would just keep talking until someone shuts it up.
Oh my god.
So cool. Wait, I have a question, Manuel, because I saw you guys posted the WETA tools. Is this part of the same thing, or is that something different? Yeah.
So Weta Digital is a company that was acquired by Unity a couple of years ago, and obviously amazing suite of tools, amazing powerful tools also for VFX. And the movie Avatar 2, for example, was made with Weta, and other movies like Planet of the Apes and so on.
Wow.
Not all of the Weta tools in general are part of the Unity ecosystem, and there are many, many tools that we're still trying to implement within the Unity editor to provide them for our users. But this particular demo is actually powered by the Ziva tools and some of the Weta tools. So everything that you're seeing, first of all, I have to say, it's directly on the platform, on the hardware. It's running on the 4090 RTX, which is the same as the laptop I have right now. It was presented at SIGGRAPH. I had the opportunity to be there in person a couple of weeks ago in LA. And we presented the keynote to everyone, and everybody in the room was laughing because it was a real-time demo, and people were asking questions like, what do you think about SIGGRAPH? And Orb is replying in real time. And as you saw, the voices can change. We have different models and voices. We work with different companies to be able to provide those language model, those voice, sorry. We also have the animation done in real time based on the text. So as you can see, it's speech to text or text to speech. Sometimes you can write down. And it's able to move the mouth muscles in regards to what he's saying in real time, which is insane.
Wow.
So the animation, the lighting, and everything has basically been designed, but you're still able to have that amazing experience once it's out. So this is Orb. You're going to learn more about that, obviously, in the future, and Unity is continuing to share about that. But I have another video that I want to share that's also as inspiring. Orb is already existing. It's a demo that already exists. Thank you so much, Adjective.
This is awesome, Manuel. I'm literally like just soaking all of this up. I can't wait to just like, this is so cool. And I really feel like so many people are going to be able to build with, that didn't feel like they were able to before, and also enhance people who are already building. So it's really exciting.
That exactly is what I'm excited about. And even if I'm not working at Unity as a builder, as a creator right now, I'm more of an advocate. I'm still taking a lot of my free time to build stuff on the side. I use Spatial on my, hobby, and it's not because we work with you guys. Like I knew you guys before I worked at Unity.
Yep.
But I find it very inspiring for people that are like me, that don't have the time, that have family to take care of, or dogs, or whatever else that you're working on outside of work, and to still find little moments of creativity. And AI can allow you to go hard on those moments and bank on them, and still build your world or build your ideas. So that's really what I'm excited about. Okay, second video.
Oh yeah, this is sick.
This is literally my reaction right now.
Damn, for real. That's
So this
Wow.
is of
You laid the
vision,
heat on us
the
right
long
there.
term of the Muse platform, right? So a lot of those tools are still in the work. Our product team are working super hard to make them available. Muse Chat is already out for our beta users. We have a release early September for some of the tools that you've seen inside, and some others are not even there yet, but we still have those pieces of technology existing already for many years, and we're trying to bring them all together within the Muse platform so that the vision that we're painting in this video is the experience and the workflow that we expect for people. And you saw the difference before the dubstep drop. By the way, sorry for that music choice.
no, the music is literally so perfect. It
Yeah, the
makes me
music was
so
great.
But that's the goal, right? Like you have this kind of inspiring moment where you're building the idea, you're starting on the web, and you're working towards making it a reality. Then to, okay, I want to do it now. I want to edit those ideas that we generated. And I'm still an artist. I want control. Bring into the editor and continuing building the actual project. But I really want to preface that it's not yet out because this video was not supposed to be out. I don't think it exists on the internet. So might look into legal to make sure that we're not sharing the wrong thing to people. The
Yeah.
goal is to really was really to paint the vision, both for the internal team to be excited of building those tools, but also for external people to come with us along the journey, so that we can build that reality, right? So
Yep.
that's really the idea behind.
Absolutely.
Um, and yeah, so those were those videos are the reason why I do what I do. But I really didn't want people to think that this is all of it, right? Like the ethical piece was so important for me. We continue to learn about that. We're still learning, and obviously we heard of everything that's happening on the copyright law in the U.S. and like other question and the strikes with the actors and the writers in Hollywood. Like those questions are still very much in everyone's brain. And even though I would say society is adapting in real time to AI, Unity is trying to build the things from the foundation so that we do the right things from the get-go. So before I do into Q&A, if we have any question, I'm going to be happy to answer live. I just want to keep these slides up. Those are the important links. So if you're not part of the AI beta Unity, please join. You just have to go on this one website, create.unity.com/AI-beta. That's going to allow you to sign up for the beta. We have many users already signed up. And when you sign up, you'll be invited to MUSE and SENTIS, which will allow you to start using them. So even if you're building your world in Spatial right now, well, use MUSE and tell us how it's going. Like, is it able to answer a specific question about the Spatial toolkit? Maybe not yet. And so I want to learn about that. Our team will love to learn about that and making it better, and start building stuff with it. Share it with the discussion forum, which is the second link. And just to access Muse Chat is going to be just muse.unity.com. So you'll be having kind of a chat GPT experience there. Sentis documentation exists as well. Sentis projects also, we're exposing and exhibiting people on at Unite, or annual conference. So if you are part of the beta, click on this discussion thread and share with us our project, because maybe we can actually showcase your project at Unite, which will be amazing. Another thing is the blog post for ethical AI. I put the link there. The asset store, because we also have more on the AI side of things, like how to publish on the AI Hub. And we have a dedicated section on the asset store for people that are publishing project or assets with AI. And finally, events. So we have Brighton. Hello, Michael.
But
Hello,
good
Michael. We have Developer Day in Brighton, September 14. That's next week. I'm going to be in person that Thursday in our office. If you want to be there, and if you're in the UK, just sign up on the Splash Dat. Creator Day, which is more of an online webinar, that's September 29. Still looking for speakers. So please, if you have a presentation about AI and you use Unity and AI and you want to speak, send me your email and I'll be happy. Join, on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll be happy to move that to the team. And finally, the biggest thing is Amsterdam, November 15. We don't have early bird tickets anymore, but you can still join us with that link.
Awesome. Thank you so
Wow.
much. Round of applause, because that was
Yeah.
so great. It's so
Thank
much to
you.
look forward to. Like, Jack, we've had so many conversations where we're like, yo, imagine when we can like do this and do that.
I
And
know.
this
I
is like
know.
literally right before our eyes. And I don't know, like it sounds kind of corny and stuff, but like the future really is now. And I'm really excited to see how like creativity expands from this point forward. And, you know, like you said, in a responsible way. I'm just super excited, and thank you so much for coming on, Manuel. I feel like we just got like such an inside scoop.
We were blessed for sure. This is a
For
blessing
real. It's an
for the
awesome-
whole community.
Seriously, I think we had one question from Lucas here.
A couple from Lucas,
Yeah,
yeah.
a couple from Lucas.
So yeah.
Are there
Plans for any other inputs for Muse? He says at the moment plan is to go completely through speech. Is that the case, or is that something you're able to comment on? If
This
you're
is
aware?
definitely in the product team's mind. I cannot speak on the roadmap itself or when that could be a possibility or if it will be in the future. But
Yeah.
I know that I myself already suggested that to them because we're already thinking of, just in terms of inclusion, right? Like not everybody will be able to only use text, and we need to be able to have any type of AI input to get any type of AI output. So not just
Yeah.
through image and voice and text, but also maybe you can at some point include a game and get another game outside. Who knows? But right now, no, it's
Yeah.
really just a conversational AI with text. Yeah.
Okay. And then the other thing that Lucas had asked was, again, maybe you can answer, maybe you can't, but will there be the ability to create a world from a sketch or a drawing? I could see that being pretty
So
cool.
2 weeks from now, if you come to my next presentation, I'll be able to answer that properly. But the
Nice.
kind of things that I can say early is that we already have tools that we have shared with the beta program. So I'm going to be acting with this video as much as the beta program, right? Like if you're here, you're part of it. So you're part of the gems. We have 2 new tools coming to Muse, Muse Sprites and Muse Textures. Sprites is more for 2D game, Textures is more for 3D games, but it's interchangeable. And not only you can generate a bit like Midjourney, DALL-E, and so on through an interface with a chat prompt or stable diffusion with, the amount of image you want to generate and so on. But this will also be trained on your current game style and make sure that it outputs visual that continue to be consistent with what you already have.
So sick.
That's
Actually
great.
working right now on a demo of that. And you can also draw a little bit and be able to, a bit like ControlNet, create already kind of the structure of what you want as an output and get it outside. So yeah, I can see that being a possibility, Lucas, and having sketches and drawings turn into real worlds. Yeah.
Wow.
That's incredible. Just imagining that will be possible potentially is incredible.
So shook right now.
Yeah. It's
Literally,
exciting.
so excited.
So yeah, if someone can drop that link in the chat so everybody can click on it, it's create.unity.com/AI-beta, and hopefully I can get you access as early as possible, all of you, so that you can start playing with those tools.
Yes,
I'm putting it in chat right now.
Spacians
People should be able to click
early.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to drop soon and might not be able to answer more questions, but maybe a last one if we have anything you want to say. Or
I got a good one that is related to spatial. Theoretically, you know how you explained how that the Unity Muse LLM is different than a regular LLM because it uses your scaffolding for the Unity specific knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically, in the future, could additional knowledge, let's say like Spatial Creator Toolkit specific knowledge, be like, added to its knowledge base and be able to aid people with like spatial creation, stuff like that?
Yeah. My understanding has been built for that.
That's
and I'm pretty
wow.
sure that was something I think that your team should definitely reach out to the Muse team at Unity. You're already in connection, but like talk
100%.
about that. I want that. I want not only the Unity documentation, but let's say the spatial toolkit to be trained with Muse, so that when I talk to Muse about, hey, I clicked and then in the VR world somehow my floating ring that was supposed to be there as a collectible doesn't work. Like, why? Like, please help me debug that, right? Like, to be able to understand the semantic of the question. That's what Muse is supposed to be able to learn. So we should be able to eventually train it with that content so that we can get those outputs. Right now, I cannot speak on that. I don't know if that's the current case. I think it's been trained into 2022, most likely. And I think it's continuing to add more, and as the Unity editor version keeps evolving.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
it's early
and
days.
great
It's early
question, too.
days. That's
well,
amazing to
The
hear.
future is wild. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we're right at the doorstep. It's gonna be
future is
freaking
here.
awesome.
The future is here. The future is now. Thank you so much, Manuel. We cannot thank you enough. This was so informative, so
Yes.
valuable. We feel so lucky and special to have you on today. I feel like
The
the
pleasure is
community is
mine.
so hype in the chat. Just thank you
Yeah.
so much. This was
Yeah,
incredible.
thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. And please, everyone, if you watch this video and you're inspired, don't let go of your dreams. This is the moment. You're not late. We're still early. And those tools that we're building, whether at Unity or at Spatial, is all there to help us all like create those amazing projects. And not just game related, right? Like I've seen people using Spatial for amazing opportunities when it comes to helping friends. Like I had kids that had cancer like a couple weeks ago, and we were helping them having their first VR experience. And Spatial was one of the idea that we wanted to use to like connect together. So maybe next year I'm going to build a world so that all of these people that have stuck in the hospital can actually have fun with their friends online. Like so many, like try to use AI for good is my kind of last message. We can talk a lot about the bad side of it and continue to just be negative. I'm choosing to go at it with an optimism and be responsible with its usage so that we can use it for good. And if everybody is doing that effort, then the world should be a better place, hopefully.
Beautiful way to end the stream, and literally right on time. Thank you so much, Manuel. You are such a gift. This was incredible. We appreciate you. Guys, if you love this video, share it on your socials. Share out the link because it's all saved on YouTube if you want to rewatch it. Follow Manuel. Make sure you stay up to date with everything that's happening. Follow him. Follow us. Follow Spatial. And just thank you guys so much. This is incredible. Thanks, Manuel. Have an excellent day. Jack, as always.
Thank you guys. This was a great time.
See you soon.
Bye. Later.
Peace out, y'all.